All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And no one complained about the sound, so I guess the new microphone, head, ear pods, whatever, are working. So, I listened to it and it sounds good to me, but, All right, so it is Saturday, October 4th. This should be uploaded as October 4th. And this will be short because there's not a lot, but I wanted to do this because I'm hoping tomorrow there'll be more news. And let's see, so day 2 or 3 of the celebrations, they didn't show too much of it on TV. It looked like a regular day. In the morning, there was like an air show, defense. Let me see. I didn't have any video of it. No, let's see. But there was a picture of, here, let's see if we can get Sudani and the military people. No, she might be going to jail, this young lady right here. Well, anyway, it was like, it was helicopters and military, air crafts, but they weren't like planes. They were like other things. Look, I don't even know how to describe them. But so, and then there were some, it was like they were practicing, I almost said something. Spontaneous combustion of things on the ground from the air. They were far away because they were wearing binoculars on some of the things, and then they did like some tricks in the aircrafts, which I thought was interesting because here in California at Huntington Beach is what they call the air show. And it's neat to watch them, but it's also, I get nervous because when they do those tricks where the planes get really close to each other or they go under or over, I get nervous, right? I know I shouldn't, but so it's funny that is something humans like to watch, right? And on either side of the world. But anyway, yes, and it was, I don't know if the people had to pay, there were people there. Just like here in Newport Beach, or sorry, what did I say? Huntington Beach. But yeah, so they were going around. Now they did show some of the restaurants. Oh, look, the crickets. Okay, so the crickets are outside the window. Because I can never find them, right? And that's what the gardener said. There's some plant or something near the window that they go in and they sit there. And it's not even that hot. It's 64 degrees, so I don't know why they're out there making that noise. Anyway, yes, a lot of the restaurants are still decorated and they're giving out these candies. Or, I shouldn't say candies, because for all I know, it could be a piece of fruit wrapped like a candy. So I'll say special treats. But other than that, I didn't really see any special events, at least on the TV or in the articles, but it is Saturday. So yeah, okay, so let's get into it. So welcome to my FX Buddies. There's multiple mediums in which you can engage with this content, but my favorite way, the preferred way, is to go to the blog, and the blog is at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. However, that is a lot to remember or type in. So wherever you are interacting with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature. Activate that, and then either another box is going to open, or you can see the link there. It'll say link to my FX Buddies, or it'll just have the link there, and you click there, and you'll be at the blog, the free blog. You don't have to put your email in, and I'm not selling anything. All right, so more of the same. Actually, this is a little different. Okay, it says Economist speaks out. Who's really running Iraq's money system? ? But what he really, so the title of the article actually is Controlling Exchange Rates is the Responsibility of the Central Bank, and the challenges facing banks continue. Now what I'm saying is different about this is earlier in the year, maybe even last year, they had changed it where they were saying, no, it's the government and the CBI working in harmony. Do you guys remember that? Because up until then, it had always been the CBI is the one who handles the exchange rate. So, this is this is not Muhammad Saleh. This is a different, this is just an economic expert. He affirmed on Friday that the financial system and exchange rate control are among the primary responsibilities of the Central Bank of Iraq, noting that the bank faces numerous challenges in this area. So I'm laughing because, yeah, they haven't changed the rate, right? And they keep telling them they keep telling the people they're going to get more purchasing power. The only way they can get more purchasing power is if the rate is changed, right? So maybe they're not using the exact words, we're going to change the rate, but, and I don't believe they do. What they tell them is, you're going to have the strongest currency in the region. I think Abadi told them they were going to have the strongest currency in the world, even stronger than Kuwait's. Abadi was prime minister. I'm not sure what year he was, but I know he was prime minister one of the times that Obama was president. That's the way I keep track of time, okay? I don't know about you. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Things like that, you can always look up. So that's why I don't try to memorize things like that. Okay, so that was one thing. And then they are, because the parallel market rate, it had risen, right? It started rising up, although today it closed down at 1405 again. So it's fluctuating again, right? So they're not controlling it. Bottom line. All right, so the central bank faces challenges in light of the fact that many private banks operate outside its controls and conditions, in addition to the conditions, isn't that funny, set by the U.S. Federal Reserve regarding foreign currency transfers. So there's the other partner, right? CBI with some guidance from the U.S. Federal Reserve, which is still working, right? Because they're not part of the government, so you can't shut them down. You know that, right? Even though it's called Federal Reserve, what do they say? It's not federal and they have no reserves. So he added, controlling exchange rates in the parallel market is difficult to completely eliminate. The solution lies in reducing price fluctuations through the flexibility of the central bank's tools in response to global fluctuations. So Nouri continued, private banks' response and adaptation to the central bank's lending instructions contributes to revitalizing the Iraqi economy. He explained that the instructions for external financial transfers for import purposes are similar to the U.S. Federal Reserve procedures in this area, which requires private banks to fully adapt and comply with the central bank's instructions. So we still haven't gotten, at least I haven't seen a formal report from Oliver Wyman or K2I, any of them, right, about how they're doing. Did they pony up and get some funding to back themselves, or are they going to merge, or what? And now, today was the 4th, but right, they have that holiday. And so when I read, or when I heard that Sadani extended the holiday, I was like, he's procrastinating. So if he holds it, and then I don't know if it's 5 days or 7 days, but if it's 5 days, then it's over on October 8th. If it's 7 days, then it's over on October 10th. And we're halfway through October by then, right? About. But anyway, yeah, so that was interesting. All right, and then on the heels of that, I guess someone said, well, hey, if Salah Nouri is talking about it, we're going to talk about it too. Or it could be the other way around, because this is an actual report. Iraq faces a difficult economic test, a huge fiscal deficit, and mounting banking challenges. So this is put out by this right here, the Echo Iraq Monitor. So this is actually a report, and it goes through numbers and stuff for the first half of 2025. It says their deficit is 12.15 trillion dinars. But there's a better way to say that, right? So, yeah. But who cares? Because it's probably not real anyway, right? Because whatever numbers they're looking at probably aren't the real numbers, because Sadani is hiding the budget schedules for good reason, right? So I'm like, what numbers are they going? They're going off public numbers. So, whatever. And then here again, expenditures were this, right? So maybe they can get expenditures, but I'm sure there's things that they didn't. They're just like our budget doesn't really say the right numbers that get spent. Yeah. But anyway, so pretty much has the banking system is under debt pressure, right? So, yeah. And did he give some suggestions? No. Just here's the last part. So they go, and then also they talk about the oil price fluctuations. The Iraqi economy today is stuck between a mounting fiscal deficit, massive operating expenses, geez Louise, the near absolute dominance of oil. Wow. And a shift in the banking system structure toward debt at the expense of reserves. But we know that's only because they haven't changed the rate. As soon as they change the rate and they pass those laws, and all the business comes in, all the investment money comes in, they'll probably be in a surplus, right? So, yeah, it's just, they have to work with the numbers that are there, right? And like I said, they're probably not the actual numbers. But anyway, so he says, absent radical reform. Yeah, buddy, that's what we want, some radical reform. Iraq may remain in a vicious cycle of deficit and debt, while the economy remains hostage to the volatility of the oil market. Yeah, so they make it seem like it's a real big problem, but we know the real solution, right? Okay, let's see. So then here's a shorter version. This says, the Iraq Future Foundation for Economic Studies and Consultations, but they're probably looking at the same numbers that other institutions looking at too. So, whatever. It's there if you want to read it. And then they did make some changes in housing developer regulations. So that can only be good, right? They wanted to unify project standards to promote fairness and transparency while reducing construction chaos. So they probably, it's good and it's bad, right? You don't want uniform everything because you do want buildings. You want a variety of buildings, right? If everything's cookie cutter, looks the same, it's boring, right? But then you don't want it to be like, you know what, I'm not even going to go there. I was going to say something. You want a balance, right? And especially over there, you would think that they would need special materials. They would figure out materials to use to keep the house cool, right? Which I think there is technology, or not technology, but, better building materials, but either they probably don't look like what we want it to look like, right? Or it's too expensive, or there's probably a monopoly, like everything, right? There's probably a monopoly on the housing materials. Oh my goodness. I'm watching that. And the way these people drive over there is crazy. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so there were some, on Tuesday, there were some, at the Council of Minister meetings, they made some changes. The new regulations will build confidence in real estate projects because investors and citizens will see that these projects are managed under clear and documented standards. He said the framework will reduce illegal construction, limit encroachments, improve the urban landscape, and accelerate government procedures. We do like that, right? To address corruption and bureaucratic delays. So that's good. So there might be something in there about international standards, but I don't think there is such thing as international standards for building, is there? All right, so if you'd like to support, and thank you. I'm going to say RF, and the F stands for Fox, so you know who you are. Thank you. So, buy me a coffee it'll be live when this blog is live. Cash App is always live and PayPal is always live. Big or small, I appreciate it all. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Okay, so now, as usual, look, here's this long article. The Iraqi parliament will not be in session until the elections. What are the reasons? Well, we know. Disruption or lack of quorum. Let's see. Paralysis, right? They face a clear paralysis in holding sessions, and not as a result of technical or procedural circumstances, but rather due to the political will and premeditated intent of some influential forces. There's a clear tendency to disrupt parliamentary work and leave Parliament in a state of stagnation until it is officially dissolved as the electoral deadline approaches. But see, I don't think they're going to officially dissolve this, because right on the heels of that is this article. The Parliamentary Services Committee member, there's his name there, confirmed on Saturday. Oh, wait, shoot. This is the wrong article. There's one article, I'll post it tomorrow, maybe. They are expected to work until January 8th of 2026, but it will shut down they shut down for the holidays and the election. But technically, as long as they are considered to be in session, they can be called in an emergency. But we're to the point that, what is that word? Lame duck? Lame duck. They might as well be considered lame duck. Because anytime they try to do something, and not even something as material as the oil and gas law, just other things like regulations for things, labor things, they don't show up. Or they go to the building, but then they go to the cafeteria, so they can't vote. Yeah. But so they are going to try to hold one more session this week to approve a set of laws, after which the electoral race will begin. They already are. And they're slandering, and there's already people complaining. Matter of fact, Maliki is one of the people complaining about the negativity and the hatred in the ads. But, it's an election. They do it all the time. All right, so here's Maliki. Here he is. His group or coalition, they wear, that color to me, it could be yellow or green. It's like the color of a highlighter to me, and white. I don't know what it says either, but he kind of blends in, but there he is speaking. And he says, vote to strengthen Iraq's democracy. And if you love Maliki, like a lot of people, I'm just kidding, you can read that. What he's saying? So this was really big news over there today. Iran and Iraq sign a memorandum of understanding to establish a joint border market. So just imagine all the smuggling that's going to go on there. Because they have food items that are not supposed to come in the country. What else? We already know oil, we know the dollar, but there's something else that I was surprised. I can't remember, but yeah. So that was on all the websites. They really wanted the people to see this, and I'm thinking, how do the citizens feel about that? But there is a large part, especially towards the southern part of Iraq. There's more Iranian people there. And the agreement they made, well, it's a memorandum of understanding. It's for 3 years. So we'll see. And what else? And the launching this market, if you're following along, I'm reading right here. Launching this market will significantly contribute to supporting the region's economy, providing an environment for developing non-oil exports, and play a pivotal role in the prosperity of the local economy. So yeah, oh my gosh, it's 23 minutes. Look at that. Okay, so see how, remember, if you listened to yesterday's, and if you missed yesterday's, stay tuned, because when this one ends, a little box is going to pop up, and you click on that, and you must. Did you go see the market that they opened? Wow, right? Anyway, so this is ham with 2 letters after it. So, and remember I was saying they're doing something, because they're doing their little ritual thing. So see how they have this green, so their whole face is covered by this thing. Then they have this green band, and they have all this. Look, that's not shoddy. That's like a uniform. That's like a military uniform, right? It's not like they just were like, here's some clothes, put it on, whatever. And so they do all of this. They pack on these vest things and this. They do it out in the street for the people to see, and the children are there, and it's like a party, and people are taking pictures, and people are putting their kids in front of those guys taking pictures. So it's very interesting. But so there was an agreement. This is they're handing over the strip, right? The 4 letters, I'm not going to say, to an independent body. And they agree to some of the U.S. president's proposal, right? But so here's the text if you want to read what their representative said. So it's still not a done deal, but it's looking pretty good. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. And then, okay, can't show that. Let me see here. And look at this. The H people, the other H people that come out of Yemen that are responsible for business not going through the Red Sea. Look what they said. They announced the continuation of their operations against Ice Cream Land unless Ham says not to. So I thought that was interesting. All right. Can't have that picture there. That's why I keep moving past it. So, yeah. And I can't read that there, but, it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting article. Yeah. So here it is. If you're on I'll enlarge it. If you're on a mobile device, even though you could just go to the blog and read it, but trying to make it convenient for you. Okay, then there's the rest of it. All right, let's see. And then here, this is the last article. The neighbor, one of the members of their parliament, he says, yeah, if we can't sell oil, nobody's gonna sell oil. He says, we will close the Strait of Hormuz if we are not allowed to sell oil. So, yeah. All right, so that's it for today. I am not going to have a long closing. Stuff is going on, good stuff. Some stuff that I'm watching I don't want to talk about yet, but I'm watching it. And thanks for spending this time with me. Your time is important. My time is important. And I would like to think that this is a good use of it. All right, so again, thank you to the supporters. Thank you for the comments you guys leave. They're great. Most of them are great. And the thank yous are much appreciated. So, accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time, which will probably be tomorrow.